Before we get to another question, I want to ask our three filmmakers a question because this will also help us. One of the things we wanted to do with interpretations, like I said, was to try to support filmmakers who we thought were interesting. And so, in addition to their cash prize that they'll be receiving very soon as you fill out the paperwork, we're going to try to see how else we can kind of try to support them. And all the jurors have kind of made a commitment to kind of trying to work with the filmmakers that they really liked. So David may be getting calls from filmmakers too. But I'm curious, like, what are your own aspirations as filmmakers, and what is kind of the bigger picture for you in terms of what you guys want to do? So let's start with our three filmmakers first. And Andrew.
Hello. For me, I've always been fascinated with film ever since I was a kid, and so my dream is to be a working director in Hollywood. And my writing partner is actually here in the audience as well, Myron. We've written a few scripts together, and we're hoping to embark on that journey as well. So our dreams is to be working writers and directors in Hollywood.
I definitely would like to make my first feature. I know Andrew and I were talking about this earlier. Like, I have, and he has, like, made a lot of shorts and like different stuff and ideas to like kind of keep on challenging yourself. So I would like to do a feature film. Would be my next thing.
Mine's probably less ambitious. Since I kind of suck at writing, I love to focus on editing though, and like music videos and just short films I really, really love. So
hire him as an editor if you need it.
Yes, please.
Let me ask a variation of that question for our veteran panelists. David, you've often talked about how your experiences when you've been trying to write for Hollywood have not been the most pleasant. And he's blogged about, you could read he's done some guest blogs for us, which you can read. Can you talk a little bit about why that was? And also, do you see things changing now in terms of, because we have a lot more filmmakers now, a lot more people obviously involved. But I think first give them a little context about some of your experiences as a writer.
Yeah, well, I haven't yet gotten to work with Clint Eastwood. And my experiences, I don't know, I'm a little bit spoiled because I'm basically a theater guy, and when you write plays, you're kind of in control as the writer. And then when you go into the medium of film, understandably, I mean, it's the director's medium, and I appreciate that, and it's the images and how the images tell the story that are the most important. But then as a writer, you don't actually get to, keep control of your work. And I feel like that's a really typical, beef that screenwriters have. But particularly, I think when you deal with Asian or Asian American material, it becomes doubly problematic because when somebody takes a story that I've written and then, changes it and doesn't, like I blogged about this horrible miniseries I wrote called, what was it?
The Lost Empire.
Thank you. Thanks, Phil. That's right on the tip of his tongue. And it was supposed to be about the Monkey King, and anyway, it just sort of sucks. But my point, and then you kind of feel, oh, it's not only an artistic failure, but I've also kind of shamed the race. And so I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think what can change is because, as Phil says, there are a lot more Asian and Asian American filmmakers coming up, and who are able to also have a certain degree of control over their work. And I think probably if I'm going to do more movies, I should, if they're going to be studio movies or something, I should maybe just not, deal with Asian material. But if I'm dealing with Asian material, then I could see working with, more on an independent level with directors that I feel would have some understanding or deeper understanding of the material.
Hi, I have goals. First of all, I'm just happy to be working. I love my job. And as recent as 2007, I played 3 different Sanjays in projects. 3 different ones, all on television. Breakdowns consisted of, let's see here, quirky, fiercely intelligent, and deathly afraid of women. So my goals are to play characters opposite of that sometime in the near future. So this was fun for me because I get to be kind of an action hero for a little bit. So hopefully that's down the road. Besides that, I just like collaborating, working with fun people. That's always good. Being inspired. I like running and jogging. Do you guys like jogging? Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? No? Okay. That's really it. I like sports.
My goal is to be working and to be getting paid for it. Because that's really hard, getting paid. The working part I think I'm doing all the time, but the getting paid part, that's the hard part. But definitely, I love the process of writing, so you know, I'd be doing it even if it was a hobby. And that's kind of my advice to all of you too, because it is a really hard industry. So, you know, don't do it for money. Definitely, it should be your passion, your hobby, something you'd be doing even if you weren't getting paid for it. Because chances are, a lot of times you won't be getting paid.
Good luck. Well, I think it's interesting because Iris, a lot of people, you know, oh, you worked with Clint and the Academy Award nomination, and so you must have it made and stuff. And she always talks about, no, I'm just a working writer, and it just kind of shows how difficult it is.
It is very difficult, especially in this economy. So all the projects that I'm working on now are indies. It's practically impossible for me to get to the studio on a original idea. You know, everything is based on something else. So if you have anything original, it's kind of like a given. You have to go indie, and if you're lucky, it's financed. Most of the time, it's not.
But you do have a film called Three Lawrences that's
Yes.
starting to prep soon, right?
Yeah, we're still in development, but it's you know, it looks pretty good. We do have financing. We have a great director attached, so I'm crossing my fingers it actually gets made.
The director is Shekhar Kapoor, who did
Shekhar
Elizabeth.
Kapoor. Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Elizabeth movies and Four Feathers.
Well, both
He's working on
Elizabeth.
one called
Yeah.
Pawnee now. He's a great director, wonderful director.
Yeah.